I am now committed to sober living.
Drugs, drugs, drugs. Which are good? Which are bad? Drugs, drugs, drugs. Ask your mom or ask your dad. Hello, everyone.
Are we still on mute right now?
No.
Oh, I thought we were muted because I didn't see anything happening with the lines and I saw the little reds.
We just weren't talking.
But do you see lines now?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Bree.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Crosscut Cinema.
We're going to say our names. Because
Oh, yeah,
Andy
I'm
did.
Madison.
Logan.
Good job.
I'm Frani.
And we're all here
Thankfully.
quarantined in.
The
Dogs are pointing guns at the doors.
Nothing's getting in or out,
gun.
baby.
It's a time.
Mila's gun is the size of her.
She's
We're
a
all
little
eating
too
Jim Baker buckets and refried beans, baby.
All of us
It's the end of the
temporarily unemployed, just
Yes.
chilling.
Hey.
Which means, you know what that means. Start donating to that Patreon, boy. You know
Yeah,
what's got a
please.
job.
I thought it meant we're just going to be watching a lot of movies.
Well, that too.
I'd hope so.
And also Patreon, please.
Please,
Yeah.
for the love of God, I'm on unemployment and I'm not sure they're gonna give it to me. So like, if you could just give me.
Life
the
is really
Patreon.
confusing and hard right now for all
Yeah,
of
it
us.
Everything
really
is
is.
scary.
Yeah. Also, we're getting close to 500, so subscribe, please, so we can have a 500 little celebration. We'd appreciate it.
We almost did a 420, but
But then,
But then, oh no.
we had a real bad time. I had a really bad time. So the plan was, if you remember from the previous week, what?
I just thought this is your brain on drugs. I don't know why it made me laugh.
My brain really did feel like a fried egg. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Essentially, we've decided I can no longer portion edibles for people.
Correct.
for the love of God, like
The
Logan.
plan,
I am fired
you're
from that
you're
job.
in fucking charge. You have the reins.
So a man is taking a woman's job right now on the podcast.
Wow.
I mean,
I thought I did a fine job. I felt fine.
I would gladly do it.
We did not feel fine.
I
Neither
mean,
of us felt
it
fine.
really is like partially my fault for not checking. It really is.
I mean,
But man,
I was
And-
doing fine
and
up
Brie
to a
almost
point.
did more.
No, I said, is this going to get me high enough? I forgot the potency.
Yeah, it was 100 milligram little thing. I cut it into 6 instead of
12ths, which is 12ths what
instead
you
of
should
12s, which is what we planned. I cut it into 6.
Oh, it was so
And I
bad.
didn't know. I didn't watch her cut it. I was doing other things. And then when
I
I
didn't
was
think
ready,
about it. I watched her cut it and I did not think about it.
And when I was ready, I went and took it, thinking everything would be fine.
Nothing was fine.
But initially, what we were gonna do was we were gonna eat these edibles. We were gonna watch The Faculty.
except for Logan because he's a sober shaman.
Except for Logan, we were gonna eat these edibles. We were gonna watch The Faculty, and then we were going to do the podcast directly after. How far in did we get to The Faculty? I don't remember.
We got to the part where you didn't believe that Jon Stewart was on screen, but it was indeed him.
It was. I am not convinced it was Jon Stewart.
is
It did not look anything like
that
him
was
to me.
Jon Stewart
Wow.
of the Daily Show fame.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I said that's not Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart has gray hair.
What
Yeah,
do you
which
remember
I
of
said
the
not always.
faculty?
Nothing.
I remember. Well, I was sober for like the first 20
Yeah.
minutes of it, or like I hadn't even taken edibles until like 20 minutes
yeah,
in.
yeah, true.
Because I was like actually doing a homework assignment before I did the thing. So I
Thank
remember there was a young man. Well, there were many, but like this, it was a high school. But the central character was like this young guy.
Elijah Wood.
Well, Elijah Wood, but I was actually thinking of the football player guy
Stan?
who no longer wanted to play football.
Yeah, Stan.
Yeah, so Stan, and then his girlfriend who was like the head cheerleader type bitch.
Yes.
And all the teachers at their school were like the sense I got was they were being overtaken by some sort of like alien life form
Mm-hmm.
and becoming murderous and trying to convert other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they subsisted off of water.
That is correct.
That was my understanding of the movie up until
Yes.
a certain point. And then like the last thing I remember was Elijah Wood called the cops because he thought that because the teachers murdered, or well, not murdered, but turned
An older
Salma
teacher.
Hayek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also they found a murder teacher.
Yes,
in the
they found the
closet,
body of an older teacher
who is so old that she couldn't hold
rejected
moisture.
the
Yeah, she couldn't let enough water for it. So
correct.
Mhm.
So and she had a really weird shower scene with Stan.
It was great.
Yeah,
This movie is well, I just want to talk before we get into the experience because I feel like the experience is going to take over what the movie was. So let me just get this out of the way.
And I want to say, up until I had a breakdown, I was actually enjoying the movie. I was having fun watching it.
It's a fun movie. I've seen it a couple times.
It's purposefully campy and it's really fun. And what's crazy is it actually there's a turning point in the film we didn't really get to, but it's really got like a Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, kids rise up kind of turnaround moment in the film that's like super fun and I love it, and the sequences in it are really smart and the music they choose is really fun. So actually see the movie if you haven't seen the movie. I'm not gonna.
I mean, it seems like it was like playing on a bunch of horror movie tropes and like kind of making fun of them.
It was actually,
but also loving them at the same time.
It was showing specifically that everything in it was a trope. I mean, even the movie itself goes, this is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then the character of Stokely points out that the Invasion of the Body Snatchers is actually a ripoff of The Puppet Master, which is an older book from like the 1920s or something like that.
Oh yeah, they had the scene too where they were just talking about how something kind of similar. This is when I was starting to.
It's all like pointing out like the funniness of the movie is that it's so exactly what it is, in the sense that it's happening in a small town. It's a mundane town. Nobody believes them, to the point where it's comical, where it's like, how do you not believe them when this shit is happening? How is there anybody not believing these kids with this ridiculous shit happening? And it's because all these novels, the Bruce Neville or whatever his name is, and Stephen King and all these other writers, or the Goosebumps R.L. Stein stuff.
And one of the characters even makes a joke. You're like a Stephen King boy or something like
exactly.
that.
The point of the film is to point out the ridiculousness of the idea that adults wouldn't pick up on this.
Right.
But also to just have like a really fun, late 90s science fiction kids takeover romp, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was really having fun watching it, and I'm like sad we didn't finish it.
And you'll finish it eventually when you're
at
ready.
some point I will actually finish it.
It is
I
a good movie.
I think it might bring back trauma for me to watch it now, but like,
So
someday I'll move on.
I'll rate it on what I think it is right now, so that way you guys at least know from the perspective, and Franny can too, because she's seen it.
And it's directed by Robert Rodriguez, right?
Yep.
And I really like him.
Old Robert Rodriguez, yeah.
I love him. What does he even do? What has he even done lately?
Not a lot.
I miss him. Rob, come back.
Yeah, and he purposely cast Usher so he could have the quintessential kid who's not an actor but is flying, right now. And then Clea Duvall's character is clearly like, the edgy, like he went with all the best stereotypes.
I think I said something, and this probably doesn't really hold up, but I feel like there are these actors in it who kind of vaguely look like other actors.
I don't think that's true. I think that was...
Well, I think the Clea Duvall character kind of looks like the girl from 10 Things I Hate About You.
So here's the thing with Clea Duvall. She's actually a big deal. And she was at the time of this movie.
Was she? I guess I don't really know who she is.
She's been in Argo. She's been, as you saw, Identity. She's been in a bunch of movies. I mean, she's sort of like a super talent. But that's okay though. If you don't know.
I was out of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, it's a '90s thing. This is like a '90s star. This is like
Yeah.
What's her face from Chasing Amy? Oh God, I can't remember her name. There's always these actors that are like super big in the '90s, and they're like the biggest deal ever, and then they go away.
Yeah.
Like Neve Campbell. Sorry, Neve.
Neve.
I know. The Craft is quite the film.
I love The Craft so much.
Man, The Craft is
the reason I'm gay.
real tough. It's a real tough rewatch.
I love The Craft. I can't even.
That movie is 100% gay rights.
What you need?
Candy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
snacks.
I'd say the movie's really fun. I love Stephen King books, like these dorky science fiction stuff. I love the Goosebumps books. So I'm gonna say this movie for me is like a legit 8 out of 10.
That's fair.
But I would understand if somebody was watching it and didn't understand the campiness, like if they took it like as a real legit science fiction film, why you'd be like, this is boner soup. But it's not. It's good.
I liked it a lot. I don't think it's like one of my top movies, so I'd say it's like a 6.5 out of 10.
Wow, okay.
I think it's good for what it is, but that's just not like...
It's not your style.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a lot of fun, though. I've enjoyed it every time.
I hate the character of Stan. I think the movie would be improved if Stan was removed. No,
Remind me who Stan is?
That's the football player.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you watch it, again, you're going to be like, Stan, just get out. Get out. Stan, get the fuck out of here. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, based on rating solely what I saw of this movie, which wasn't a whole lot. I mean, I guess it was like half-ish.
No,
not even.
like a third.
I would probably give like the third of it that I saw like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Why am I doing numbers all of a sudden? I would probably give the third.
That's
that I
why
saw,
I was like blown away. I was like, okay.
I would probably give the third that I saw like a. Well, I think it's because like when I'm giving a film a grade, like it's about the whole movie and how well did it do on its own. So I think that's why I chose a number. But
New rules all the time, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
New rules all the time. It got 5 extra credit points.
I do whatever I want.
There you go. This is the final.
What would you say,
That's
Bridget?
a reference from the film.
So I got super fucking high. Like,
Pretty quickly.
Extremely quickly. I remember being like, I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it now.
Mr.
And everyone's
Yeah, I know.
like,
Firmly grasp it.
Me about my sanity.
So I only remember small things. I remember like a teacher being stabbed to death or something. I remember Elijah Wood's face. And then
just his face,
just
nothing
his
else.
face.
Not his body,
It's
not
just
his head,
floating
just
across
his
the screen.
disembodied face.
And then I remember Madison's face like looking like a bunch of Snapchat filters was on it. It looked like you were like kind of filtering through Snapchat filters. And that's what I remember of the film.
That's not the film.
Madison, did you?
I was in this movie.
Yeah.
You were in this movie. In my perception of it, that's what I remember.
What? Sure. Let's.
Okay, we're back.
We just had a minute. Franny said you could hear me chewing.
I wasn't sure if I was the only one.
Headphone listeners, they were almond M&Ms.
And they were fucking delicious.
They were worth the sound.
Okay.
But you were going to say something, Logan. You said, Madison, do you wanna? And then Franny was like, can we pause?
What do you want to share?
Oh.
And what do you want to share? You don't have to share everything.
Oh, shit. And
Cinema.
now we're back again on
And now
Crosscut
we're
Cinema.
once again back.
We just had a little audio thing, but we're good now.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure you noticed.
For those brief, like, 20 seconds, I caught it. And,
So is that still going to be in there? Like, we're back. We're back.
Yeah. No,
We're keeping that in there?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be in there.
Why
I
don't
mean,
we just can't take it out of there?
Unfiltered.
no, because it's too much work for me to edit it.
It's 20 seconds. You just cut it.
Yeah, but it's just not that easy, dude.
It is
Leave
that
it.
easy, dude.
It isn't. You got to make sure it all sounds right. I'm not going to do it. It's just going to be in there. I'm sorry.
Okay. So clearly this
Someday
generates our
we'll be able to
Patreon, the
hire
amount
somebody.
of effort we put into editing our videos. We got to get
Someday we can hire somebody.
We got to get legitimate editing.
I'm
here.
not an editor. I literally the only reason that I do the downloading, editing, and posting is because I'm the one with the Mac.
I guess what else can we
My
delegate at this
computer
point?
takes like my computer has such a lag that it takes like 10 minutes to do a simple like Google search. So
That's really sad.
yeah, it's not
I am
good.
proud of the videos you post, and I am
Thank
proud.
you.
I'm also very proud of the audio that I've made officially.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm very proud of the way this
Yeah.
podcast sounds.
And I
Me
generally
too.
post them kind of on time. So like
almost, yeah,
almost usually.
almost usually.
We did today.
That's true, just barely.
Barely.
Just by a hair. Actually the reason for that was because I was so fucked up that I'd left my computer charger
Yes.
here at your house.
I was surprised you didn't like lose your laptop in general. Like
No, the laptop somehow made it home.
somehow.
Well, because okay, after everything, I want it to be said. I'm gonna tell my story a little bit, but I want it to be said that I really did. After all that I went through, woke up at 10 o'clock in the morning and did my homework and submitted it
Sure did.
on that very day.
So if
That's
teachers are
amazing.
listening, they know you're dedicated.
Right, you should know that I like, despite the fact that we are no longer on campus, that we are online school only now. I did my work, but everything was going fine. And I was feeling it, and I was feeling pretty high, but I was like, this is about how I was feeling during Cats.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've reached my level now, and this is where I'm going to be. And I was like, I'm comfortable here. And then the toilet broke.
Yeah.
And like, we're watching the movie, and Franny goes to the bathroom. And I think we were simultaneously like taking a break, getting snacks kind of thing. And Franny goes to the bathroom, and she's like, Logan, the toilet's broken. and Logan's trying to figure out how to fix the toilet, and we're all freaking out. And I was getting very upset because I kept telling him, you need to tape it so that it will run. Because the problem was that the toilet wasn't running.
Madison in that moment became a plumber.
But Madison, Madison should be aware of something. It was running. It wouldn't stop running.
Or yeah, I wanted you to tape it so that it would stop running because if you put it in that position.
But I figured it out.
But then it got broken more somehow. The
Not
chain
by me.
snapped.
Not by me.
I ripped the chain off in my high
The chain
state.
snapped. And so like we're kind of trying to figure out this toilet and we're all kind of stressed. I was like already kind of stressed because life is stressful right now because I don't have a job and my school is canceled and everything's happening. And then the toilet breaks. And then finally we sit back down to watch the movie. We did play it again, didn't we? After the toilet broke? I think we did it
No.
for like 5 minutes.
Maybe 5 minutes, but I
And then I
actually
was-
don't think so.
I was sitting in the chair which became like my spot for hours after that.
It is a Walmart
I like that chair a
Goodwill
lot. It
recliner.
served me well.
From 1997.
Yeah,
It served me very well.
it's the best. I love that chair.
But like, and I started to have that weird, like when you're too high and you're on edibles and your body starts to feel really weird. And normally that goes away from me. Like normally I can just kind of like grip something or like do something with my hands and it goes away. But it wasn't going away and it started to be my whole body. And then my vision started to get blurry. And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And I felt like you guys didn't believe me that my vision was blurry. Like I know now that you did, but I was like, guys, I can't see shit.
Yeah. Everybody always thinks that like nobody's taking it seriously, when in reality I was like, oh no.
I was like, this is bad right now. But you guys were acting like I was fine, and I was like, I'm not fine.
because just for the people out there who are going to experiment, if your friends start freaking out, you need to act calm because they go off your
Logan was
energy.
so calm. I have to say, like,
Honestly.
like I'm mean to you sometimes, but I love you, dude, because you saved me.
Love you too,
And
buddy.
I know you want my validation, and I want yours too,
Absolutely.
and you know that now
I
because
do.
I bared my fucking guts.
You spilled them beans
I know. I spilled my beans.
Why
all
did
over
you
the place.
spill your beans?
out of your pockets, out
At
of your
one
back
point-
pockets.
No, there were just beans
At
everywhere.
one point, you literally said,
Webbed
"Don't
beans.
remember any of this. All this is lies tomorrow."
there are webbed beans.
Webbed beans.
Oh yeah, you turn to me and you go, you don't remember any of this tomorrow. I was like, okay, I forget. You're like, no, you're lying. You know.
Then you're like, you know what? It's fine that you know. It's fine.
But it wasn't. But no, so like I go and I get up and I'm trying to like put water on my face to try to like feel something again. And I was like, if I can just shock my senses, I'll be better. If I can just get some feeling back, then I'll be just fine. But it wasn't working. And so I was coming back to the living room and I was starting to get scared. And I didn't want anybody to know that I was getting scared. But then I also couldn't hide it because I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you can't show them you're scared. You can't let them know you're scared. You're cool. You're cool. You're cool. You're good. You're good. But I couldn't like do that with my
No.
face and actions. And so I just started to cry.
I mean, what it really boiled down to too is he kept trying to like explain it. Like, I just need to shock my system. I just need to shake myself out of it.
That made
That's-
sense to me at the time.
Yeah, the thing is, yet again, listeners, that doesn't work. It won't work, and it'll actually just freak you out more because
Yeah.
you'll be thinking nothing I'm doing is working, even if you don't
It
realize
was
it.
exactly like that.
Yeah, even if you don't realize you're saying that to yourself subconsciously, your body's telling you there's nothing you can do. Try anything, you can do nothing. Like it's like telling you like you're so fucked. Don't even try. It's easier if you just like go, okay, this is.
I was just crying though. I feel like I cried so much.
It's okay though.
You did. We had a nice long
I
hug.
almost cried, so it's okay.
I can't believe you almost cried.
I
dude.
knew exactly where you were coming from, dude.
I just
know how
felt
scary
so
it is.
bad. I never want to
No.
feel like that again.
It's terrible. It is. It sucks.
It was so bad.
It sucks, and people.
And then I just like started saying every thought that entered my head, like
stream of consciousness.
like there was no filter. And I said some dumbass shit too.
I just loved how it was just like, oh, it's fine. You'll feel better. Just take a relax. And you go, I hate that. You just said that out loud. I hate when you say that. I was like, I know you hate it, and I know you're telling me the absolute truth right now.
Yeah,
But-
there was no way that I said anything that was a lie because it was just pouring out, baby.
Yeah.
I couldn't as soon as I would think the thought, it was also coming out of my mouth
Yeah.
at the same time.
You weren't able to take that pause. There was no and then you explained to me, you're like, I don't know how I operate usually because right now it's taking me 20 seconds to think of things before I say them, but then I just say them without thinking them. do I just stop in the middle of conversations for 20 seconds before I say things? I'm like, no. And then you and Bridget are just worry warts. You guys,
I know. I was so worried about Bridget.
you two need like a
you
extra
two were
element
hyping each
person
other
in the room
Yes.
when you do this, because you two hype each other up bad.
Well, the thing was that like I knew that Bridget was worried about me, and
Yeah.
I didn't want her to be worried about me because I knew that it would make her worse. So I was like, you have to make sure Bridget's okay. You have to tell Bridget I'm fine.
But like Bridget couldn't be like neither of you
Also-
could be each other's calm in the moment.
Also,
you
if
guys
you're-
desperately needed a calm.
If you're crying at your friend, tell my girlfriend that I'm fine. She's still in the room and she can see what you're saying. So there was no
But
stopping
no,
it.
I just wanted you to tell her this is normal. This is okay.
Which I did, but she didn't care because she was messed up too.
I just remember hearing Bridget whimper, but my eyes were closed because I couldn't deal with visual stimuli. So occasionally I would just hear Bridget like,
And then like I'm sure you were talking about how the sound, which I can relate to, how the sound would go in and out or whatever it was. Like you said that.
I don't remember saying that. But
Oh, you don't remember saying
no.
that? You said like it would be like dead quiet, and then you just hear my voice like it's like the loudest thing you've ever heard.
I don't remember saying that at all.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was high, but I was in like the good high. I remember just laying on the couch and I put my arms up because felt like I was spinning, and I just allowed myself to spin.
And I just felt so bad. I felt like I was ruining everybody's night, and
No.
also Logan's birthday because it was Logan's birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday. That was an interesting birthday, but
okay.
it was
And I
not,
felt
it's not a
so
problem.
bad. I felt like I was ruining his whole birthday because I was
Nah.
having an episode.
Nah, dude. I was just like more worried about you guys. And then like I remember too, you said out loud, "Oh my God, I'm keeping you up forever," and I was just like, "What are you talking about?"
It felt like hours had passed.
When in reality, probably from, I would say, maybe like the whole spin out plus like 10 minutes of that Vine compilation we watched, you would have been done with the movie. That's how long it was. Like it really wasn't that long. And then you were just done after that. You were just fine.
It just felt like so long.
Yeah. It always, like when it happened to me, I was at a party for 30 minutes. It felt like 3 hours.
yeah.
And also I was sitting in a lawn chair and I was sitting on top of my balls. But I was so high. I was so high I couldn't get up, so I was just in pain. I was so high I couldn't move.
And I was trying to help him, and I just kept giving him water.
This
more
story,
and more
you know what?
water.
This story might make you help you feel better for a second. So let me tell you my story.
Okay.
So my buddy gets married.
Mm-hmm.
This is Dabs, and he's like, "Hey, I'm getting married. You have to either get drunk with me or get high." And I'm just like, "I'll get drunk." And then at the party, he's like, "That's not good enough." And so he made me take Dabs, and I hadn't smoked weed in probably about 1.5 years at that point, or anything like it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, dabs are fine. That's probably not that big of a deal. He gave me 2, by the way. You fuck. If you're listening, you gave me 2 of them.
His wife was very upset with
Yeah.
his actions.
And he gave me 2. And I remember he sat me down in the lawn chair, and I knew I was uncomfortable. But I was also surrounded by people who were like, Logan, Logan. So I was peer pressuring. And then as soon as I hit it, he goes, I hope you're comfortable because you're going to be here for a while. And then I was like, whoa. And that was the moment. It was just like, starfleets in your eyes. Like, it was like the highest I've ever been in my whole life. I felt like it was in a 70s music video. And the backyard, the only way I could describe it is it was like if you made a diorama and you were flopping it back and forth. The yard was fucking moving like back and forth. And I remember this dog kept coming up to me, and it was the nicest dog. I loved this dog. It just kept checking on me like, hey, dude, how you doing? And I'm like, I can't look at your face because it scares me, but you're real soft.
Franny and Logan's little dog Mila was like hanging out with me, but and she's like a little chihuahua, and I was so afraid that I was going to hurt her.
She was like barely holding her, like just
because
barely.
she's so small. Like to me, she was so small and so frail that one wrong touch would break every bone in her little body. And I just kept saying like, I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her.
But then she'd be so loose in Madison's hands, Mila would assume that she wanted to let her go, so Mila would jump out of her hands, and then Madison would scream at the top of her lungs, no!
Which, like, Mila loves to jump out of people's hands at any height.
Yeah.
She, like,
she was
bungee
a great,
jumps,
she was
so-
a great comfort to
So
me.
every few minutes, I'd just go grab her from wherever she was, and Mila would just sit there and wait for Madison to hold on to her, but then she wouldn't. And she'd look at her, and Mila would look at Madison like, aren't you going to hold me? You seem like you're upset. And Madison was like, I don't want to break you. And the dog would just jump out of her hands again, and she'd be like, no! So yeah,
She was a comfort to me, but I didn't want to hurt her.
I want to finish my story and we'll get on to your story.
Yes.
I feel like this is important because it gives you perspective, kids. So
Yeah, if
drugs, which are good, which are bad.
If you're listening to this podcast and thinking about doing drugs, I'm not going to tell you not to do them, but just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check your portions, think it through.
And, like, have a sober friend with you, most
Yes.
importantly.
Be somewhere you
Logan
feel
was
safe.
my only tether to this reality.
I really was. And Matt, and like the worst thing is we were all talking about me getting high too. I'm so glad I didn't do it.
If you had, I would have been gone. I would have probably called 911 just to like be okay.
Oh yeah, so back to my story. So I was so high. This is what I do to calm myself down when I'm really high is I'll listen to music, right? Because you kind of zone in on it and then you start singing it and you kind of get like a vibe. I was so high I couldn't distinguish what the music was. It just sounded like loud noise. And then like you were describing, it would go pure silent. And I feel like everybody was looking at me. And then a rage of fucking noise. So there was that going on. And then also, I wasn't I crying?
Yeah, you were crying a bit. I just kept feeding you more and more water.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
like, maybe
They
he'll
thought
sober
water
up.
would fix it,
No,
but that's
I thought specifically
But that's
me.
not how that works. It's not an edible, so water can't fix it. So I'm drinking. I felt like I was drinking a bottle of water for like 6 hours. Because every single time I'd take a huge, I would like guzzle this water like it was going out of style. And then I'd look at my bottle and it's half full. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'd look over and there's like 1,000 half-drank bottles. They keep giving me new bottles.
So funny.
And then he was then my friend Dusty, shout out to Dusty. He was like, "Hey man, I got you a donut. Eat this donut." And I'm just like, "All right, dude. I'm gonna try to do that." It felt like a ball was rolling in my mouth. I'm not kidding. I couldn't distinguish that I was chewing. It felt like a sphere was spinning.
I felt like I was eating a lot when I was freaking out because eating made me feel something in my mouth, like having the sensation and the taste of food in my mouth.
Squishy.
Yeah, the squishy.
Yeah.
Like having the feeling and taste of food in my mouth was really, really good for me. Like especially we were eating watermelon and cantaloupe, and that was great because it was cold. It tasted like something, and it had a texture about it that I could really get my teeth into.
A sensation.
Yeah, so I was like literally just eating to feel anything.
Yeah, and so
I can relate.
with my thing. Finally, my buddy Damon's like rubbing my back. I'm like, it's
yeah,
okay,
that was cute.
big boy. It's gonna be okay. Like,
I was
fucking help
trying
me.
my damnedest to help you.
Franny's the one who told me if I didn't do it, I was a fucking
No,
wimp.
I didn't. Don't make me out to be like that.
All right,
Don't dox me.
buddies, my friends out there. Let's relive what was said. I don't know if I want to do that. And you said, and I quote, "Don't be such a wimp. This is your friend's wedding."
I was joking with you.
Oh my God! Are you
no.
kidding
You're
me?
doxing me right now.
Yeah, I am because it was a scary situation, just like how you overdosed our friends.
No, Franny, you've never done anything wrong.
I
It's
have
okay.
you.
I don't
Anyway,
blame you at all.
Anyway, so with my story, you know what? That's all you need to know. I'll
Fair
save the rest for off camera, if you will.
Okay.
But know that I've been where you've been. I've been there.
I think the highlights for probably you all, even though I was in distress, was like me talking about the film crew that produces all of my thoughts.
You talking about how
Yes.
That
they're
was
running
so
around
funny for me
frantically?
because I'm so opposite. Like I say things kind of very little filter. There's a thin filter.
I didn't like that at all.
And you just kind of like, I didn't know I didn't know people put so much thought into everything they say.
The fact that people just
I mean,
speak,
honestly, I just speak.
the fact that like words come into people's head and then they just say them is terrifying.
Same.
Because that
Scares
was
me.
what was happening to me. And I didn't like it at all.
You
Like,
know,
I
you
felt
actually grabbed
so
your mouth at one point.
exposed.
You went.
What did I say that made me do that?
You were just like, I just can't stop speaking.
You're
Covered
trying
your
to
mouth.
you're trying to like physically filter.
Am I, was she not though?
remember that, yeah.
And then you would say things through your mouth. I can't stop talking. It was
I was
so
trying
good.
to put the words back in
Yeah,
there.
like, get back in there. And then you at one point went, I just feel like I'm in the middle of an empty McDonald's.
Correct.
And then you said the best line I've ever heard you say.
The saddest girl in the world to ever hold a McDouble.
Which we died. Everyone died. And then you went, you said out loud because you clearly had no filter. Do you guys really think I'm funny or you just laughing to make me feel better? Because sometimes I feel like I'm not that funny. And I feel like you guys are just laughing to make me feel better. Holding your mouth. And I'm just like, Madison, it was funny.
I also want to be clear that I was specifically referring to, in my mind, it was a dark McDonald's. Like, I was standing alone in the empty McDonald's, which Logan pointed out to me many times could not be because I was in it, therefore it was not empty.
It was not empty as a result. And also, it's a structured building that, as a result, it isn't a McDonald's unless it has McDonald's stuff in it. It's not a McDonald's unless there's a grill and food and McDonald's things.
Yeah, but I mean, it was...
And then also had you in there, too.
Yeah, I'm in a void of people except for me. And it was dark, but it was still very clearly McDonald's. And we talked about it being like one of those newer McDonald's.
Like the ones that are trying to be like Panera.
Yeah, and it felt just like me standing in it. Holding a McDouble, being the saddest girl in the world to ever do so.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So
good.
that was how we watched The Faculty.
Yeah.
But kind of didn't.
Yeah.
If I had to rate my experience, I would give it a 0 out of 10. It was really bad.
F minus.
An F minus. You failed the class, and actually we're pushing you. We have to go back a grade.
Oh my God.
You don't even get held back like you stay in 6th grade. You have to go back and do 5th grade again because clearly something happened.
We cannot make it up in the summer.
No,
Can't
it's
make
not
it up
going to
in the
work.
summer.
It just was. It was a really bad time, and
She said, and I.
Like,
I am so sorry.
this is the kind of experiences that your parents think drugs. Like if you have parents like me, like not like if you have parents. No, like if you have parents like my parents are, who don't believe in drug use. In their mind, this is what every experience of doing drugs is like. But it really felt like everything my mom ever warned me about.
That is amazing.
I think I was crying at one point because my mom was right.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
your
you
mom's
actually-
right. I should have
you
never
kept
done
saying, like,
drugs.
The worst part about this is that my mom's right.
And it was.
She's never gonna hear this.
She'll never listen to this, so it's fine.
But if she does, she's always gonna be like, "You admitted it."
Right, I know.
She'll like hold the sound.
I know forever.
Make that her ringtone. She was right.
She was right.
She was right.
But no, so yeah, I'm good on drugs for a while. I honestly, honest to God, would never wish what I felt on my worst enemy. I felt like I was dying
I'm
for
so
hours, even
sorry.
though it was like an hour.
Drugs. None are good. They are bad.
That's not true. Do drugs, guys. I mean, if
Do
you
all
want.
of them. Every single one.
My experience the next day, like I was still high the fucking next day.
You were.
I also was. I woke
everybody-
up and I was still.
For drug users out there, there's a thing called leaky brain, and you generally have it the next day. And like you can't read a book. You can't like look at a manual. You can't watch a television screen
We tried
effectively.
to watch Identity.
Which we did watch. In the next part of the podcast, you will hear a legitimate review.
We did actually watch it.
Yeah.
But the next morning, we all tried to watch Identity, and we just couldn't do it.
I mean, I could do it.
Well, you
I could do it.
Franny, you'd seen it before.
I know, but I could also still watch it. I didn't have leaky brain to the extent you guys did.
Fair enough, but you knew how much you were taking. You knew what you were getting into.
I did not
The
know
rest
what I
of
was
us were
getting
just
into.
like,
I've just taken them more recently, I guess, than you guys have. So
Yeah.
it didn't hit me as hard. That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah.
Bridget cried because her phone was glitching out.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no, are you doxing her right now? Are you
Yeah, no,
ready to
tell
the
me.
story?
I was gonna tell the story about
Oh,
Crayon,
yes.
but
Oh.
like you tell the
You
story
can tell
about
the crayon story, but
you tell this one. I'm
Bridget
fine
was
with that.
crying because
This was on the second day, by the way.
yeah, this was on day 2.
Yeah, Bridget's got a smaller body, so as a
Right.
result, it processes longer.
Yes.
And I knew that, especially since I'm pretty sure she got the largest cut as well.
Oh,
think I did too.
I
Yeah, I
genuinely
agree.
thought I gave myself the largest. I'm
So
so
with
sorry.
all
Well,
of-
and I will say that when I went and picked them out,
Mhm.
I picked the biggest one on purpose.
Oh no!
Well, because you guys had already taken them, and then I went later, and I was
Wait,
like,
Franny, did you even portion out the rest?
I did. I portioned out all of them just in case she picked a random
And
one.
how much you cut into again?
6th.
See, the 12ths are the lowest recommendation from me. The
Oh
lowest.
God.
The lowest.
Yeah, 'cause it's a thick boy. I thought I was cutting it. I just forgot to do the extra cut, and like in my head, I was like, "This is fine." Like I cut it enough.
You mean the additional?
Yeah, I forgot to I cut it
Double
into
the
6, and I
cuts.
forgot to do the next. Like cut the 6 into 12s.
but yeah, I went in there and I picked the biggest one because I was like, you know, there are probably some bigger pieces which were meant for the three of us and some smaller ones. I don't know what my thought process was, but I was like, yeah, I want the bigger one. She's like,
I
I'll
want
be
to
okay.
get fucked up.
And subsequently, like, well, if
You
it wasn't the
sure
consequences
did.
of my own actions.
Oh,
but
yeah, without doubt.
I literally said before this, like when we were discussing what to do, I was like, I've had a hard week. I want to get fucked up. And I did.
Bree tried to have everybody allow her to do 2 of them.
No.
Yes.
No. I said,
Bitch,
is
yes.
this going to be enough?
You said, do I need more?
But anyway, why Bridget was crying was because you had sent a text. You went to work that next morning.
You being
But then
Franny.
Yeah.
Franny went to work the next morning. And then her work ended up closing because of the
on my way
virus and
there.
whatnot. And so she texts us all and she's like, I'm coming back. And Bridget gets this text. But then hours later, she looks at it again. And for some reason, her phone glitched out. And like all the other text messages from Franny came with your contact. Yeah. But then that last text was unknown. And I was in the bathroom when she realized this, and I can just hear her crying outside. And so I come in, I'm like, what's going on? What's the problem? She's like, my phone doesn't know who Franny is. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, my phone doesn't know who Franny is. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, see, look, when Franny texts me, it doesn't know who she is. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just your phone glitching, babe. Like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. And she was like, no, everyone should know who Franny is because she's amazing. And my phone doesn't know who Franny is.
Oh, I love you. I'm so sorry I drugged you.
That's it. This is the same one who dosed everybody. And
Oh.
She didn't mean to.
I'm a
It's not
real
her
pile
fault.
of trash
I hear you say
people.
she didn't mean to, but I'm not hearing you deny that she did it.
It's not her fault.
I'm still hearing that she did this.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, Bridget, what was the other thing you cried about? Please.
I don't know. I think you're trying to comfort me. So like my memory for this is very, very limited. But I think you're trying to comfort me, you being Madison. By being like, look at, Mila. Mila's so cute.
What?
I just realized what you were doing. I was like, what is she doing?
She's chewing away from the microphone.
I just see her just like craning her head like, what do you think about this? What do you think about what you're saying right now? But it's just chewing M&Ms. I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
We're saving the ASMR for Patreon content.
Yes.
But anyway, she was like, look, Mila's so cute. Look at her, aren't you feeling calmer or something? I don't know. And I looked at Mila, and Mila yawned, and I started to cry harder because,
and I think I said to you, like, oh, look, isn't that cute? She yawned. And then it made you upset.
because I was like, I have a snake. Her name is Cranberry. And I was like, Cranberry never yawns around me. She doesn't yawn.
And I was like, okay.
Do snakes yawn?
Yes.
Oh.
I was like, she doesn't trust me. She doesn't think that she can yawn around me. And so she doesn't love me. She doesn't understand. And I was like freaking out. And then
go ahead.
you go. Because you remember it better than I do.
And then she said, and so it's a corn snake. What's going on over there?
She's gonna nothing. Continue.
I'm fidgeting.
She's got a corn snake, and corn snakes burrow, and like she has a lot of bedding in her tank, and so she was like, and what if she only yawns when she digs her little holes, and then when she yawns and she opens her mouth, she gets all the bedding in there, and she can't breathe. And I was like, Bridget, she knows what she's doing. And I was like, and then I had to tell Bridget all the reasons that the snake likes and trusts her until she felt better.
Did it work? Because I don't really remember.
I didn't really. You just got stressed about something else, probably.
All I remember was Franny and Logan went to get
Ice cream.
like ice cream and like some snacks from this ice cream shop.
Oh, and then you
Candy
cried.
place.
And then you cried because so they left the house. They left me at the house because I didn't want to go anywhere. But Bridget's work had tips for her, and you were so upset because you told your manager you were high. And you were like, I'm going to get fired. And I was like, no, you're not.
Also fired from the job you don't currently have.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, I think there's bigger fish to fry right now than you being high.
You
with the
still can't work here.
coronavirus.
And also, I'm pretty sure my manager, like the reason I said, "Oh, I'm like high," I'm still high from like last night because I had edibles, was because she said
That she was hungover.
that she was hungover, and she was like, I'm
I don't
really
know. I'm just
hungover
saying
right
that,
now.
I'm just saying
one
that you
is
were upset
legal,
about
one
it.
is
There's no
illegal.
singular moment funnier to me though than when Bridget and I got into, quotes, an argument. And she goes, you know you can be wrong. And I'm just like, okay. Thank you for letting me know. I don't know. And it was like, I don't know what that spat. I can't remember what the spat was even about now.
I think it was about the pronunciation of a road, wasn't it?
yeah,
That's
it
what you said.
And she's just like, what was it? I said this pronunciation's wrong. This city gets it wrong. And you go, things can be pronounced differently other places. And I'm like, yeah, but in the English language, it's not pronounced this way anywhere except for this road. Like, you know you can be wrong. It was so funny. And then we also
remember that.
And then we also were coming around the block to pick you up, and you looked probably the most terrified I've ever seen any human being.
You're just sitting
on
there in your little pajama pants, just terrified.
You look like you're about to approach an officer and be like, "I lost my mommy," like literally, dude. You were just standing there,
Like-
just kicking rocks. You know what I mean? Just like sitting there, just kicking dirt.
Because it was a one way, so we had to like, and there's no parking, so we had to like circle around. And poor Bridget thought we left her. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no!
I did.
Even though we told her we were circling around.
I stepped out of the restaurant and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for my friends out here, Ashley. And she was like, okay. And like, oh, name redacted. And
You're the only Ashley in the world.
and she was like,
Ashley, baby, you make me feel so alive. There you go.
Okay.
Middle school coming out.
All right.
Bangs and all. Anyway.
but she was like, all right, I'm gonna talk to this person. And she invited someone else into the bar, and they sat and they talked. And I was just standing on the street corner, and I was like, everyone knows I'm high. Everyone knows I'm high. Everyone knows I'm high. Everyone knows I'm high. Everyone knows I'm high.
Everyone else outside was high. You know that, right?
Like,
Have you been on that street? Everyone
I
else was
have.
high.
and like somebody was like, hey, do you have any change? And I was like, no.
Never change. Never change. Anyway.
But yeah, that's what happened to us.
You guys want to go ahead and take a break and then?
Yeah, and then we'll talk about Identity, a movie we actually watched.
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it.
Bye. Be careful. And we're back.
Hello.
We were singing.
Let's just get away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, no copyright strikes,
I'll
please.
make you see.
That's from
No.
Dowie 102.
Zoe 202.
Bowie Davidio.
Zoe 304.
Do you remember the
Section
episode
D.
where they did the time capsule? That was a good one.
Yes.
That was my
Yes.
favorite
Didn't they
episode.
like touch
They
up on
did.
that?
I think
They
they
did.
revealed what Zoe said in the.
Mhm.
I
was
think it was also
nice.
kind of anticlimactic.
A little anticlimactic, but still nice.
What she end up
So nice.
saying?
I don't remember.
Like you're my
I
Too
buddy.
bad she
I
had to
wasn't
go
that
get
impressed
fucking
by it.
pregnant and end the show.
Fucking Jamie Lynn Spears, you slut.
Hoe
No,
it
I'm just kidding.
Oh!
I'm just kidding, Jamie Lynn. I love you.
I don't know who you are.
She's Jamie Lynn Spears. She's Britney's sister.
I don't know Britney either.
Britney Spears?
I don't know them.
Well,
Do you know them?
yes.
Birthday of either of them right now. No internet.
May 10th.
I don't know if I
Everybody's
can
May
check that, but I have a feeling that that's a reference to what we're about to talk about.
Whoa! What if it actually was May 10th? Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm going to Google it. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri, you bitch. Oh, what's Britney Spears' birthday? What's Britney Spears' birthday? She won't answer.
It's not Britney Spears'. What's Britney Spears' birthday?
What is Britney? What is Britney Spears' birthday? It says Britney Beers. I don't know. I can't do it. Siri's not cooperating.
So
I
wait,
don't know what to
we
tell you.
can't just like type it in. Like,
Fuck.
I'll do Jamie Lynn.
Fuck me. Okay, hold on.
Let's
Can we hear
team
this?
tag this.
What'd you say?
You can definitely hear that.
Oh, I forgot that Bridget had alcohol on that. Until just now.
Like, why does it matter?
You know, me and Kurt Russell have the same birthday.
Wow.
April 4th for Jamie Lynn.
Brittany is December 2nd.
Mm-hmm. There's.
Not May 10th. That would have been cool though.
Let's just. You know what? I want to hold on.
Would have really been something.
Okay. You know, I feel like there's other people that could be talking while I'm doing this.
I don't know what it is that you're doing, or else I would comment on it.
Bono.
What about Bono?
May 10th.
Wow, so Bono is one of that guy's personalities.
What state is Bono?
Boston, Massachusetts, Massachusetts.
Call Me Carson, another YouTuber. I love you, Call Me
I don't know who
Carson.
that
He's
is.
hilarious.
I
He's
don't
very
know.
funny.
I don't know who you are.
Keenan Thompson.
Keenan.
Kanoka.
Kansas.
Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire. Arkansas.
Arkansas. We're going with Arkansas.
Fred, Arkansas.
The Bayou Ekin. Oh no, I'm not even trying.
Oh no. Oh no.
I know who it is.
Who
too.
is it?
He's an actor.
Well, obviously he's an actor.
What does that mean? There could be a.
I mean, they're famous people. I assume it's an actor.
It could be a singer. It could be a writer. It could be a dancer. It could be anybody for any amount of politician.
Okay, whatever.
Meme, cat video, anything.
Okay, can we talk about the fucking movie now, please? Braden's over there playing Sims.
I'm not playing Sims.
I said Braden's over there
I'm
playing.
I
Sims.
know, but at least I'm not.
I know. I'm just fucking
I've gotten
around.
everyone into this right now except for Logan. I love it.
Shims.
I made a blue
That's,
person.
that's what you do when you're social
Quarantined.
distancing.
There's also a gentleman that is involved in K-pop fame. I can't pronounce your name, but you're made 10 through 2. You're in his brain.
K-pop, Korea. Korea is a place.
There's a North and South Dakota.
Yup.
West Virginia.
Almost heaven. West Virginia.
Never been to West Virginia.
It's almost heaven.
Is it? Have you been?
John Denver says so.
Can you tell me if you've been or not?
No, I haven't been to West Virginia.
So how would you know?
Because I trust
I
what
have.
John Denver says.
Okay.
Bridget, was it almost heaven?
Did you almost
I
lose that
mean-
ball?
yeah. But I didn't.
Bridget, was it almost heaven?
I was there at like 3 a.m.
Almost
So-
heaven.
I can't really tell you
West
the answer to that. I
Virginia.
just drove through it 'cause we were going to
Blue
the
Ridge
ocean.
Mountain, Shenandoah River. This is a song owned by another person.
Yep.
I'm not gonna sing
And
it.
their trademark would be really expensive.
That's not how the song goes, but it's
I
fine.
know that. Can we move on?
Yes.
Thank you. Anyway, Bono needs to get on the podcast.
Oh God, I know. John
Bono.
Denver. Oh, I was gonna say John Denver should come on the podcast, but he's dead in a plane crash.
We'll hold a seance.
Maybe he's here already.
John Denver's spirit is always with me.
You can look out for our occult podcast if you donate to our Patreon.
About
where
John
we'll be
Denver.
talking to John Denver himself and Bono, but Bono, he'll be alive for that part, I think. Corona, please don't take Bono. Anyway,
You can have anyone else.
yeah, you can have, well, except for McCavity, you don't have
can
him
have
again.
me.
McCavities.
You have who?
Me.
No.
Oh.
What
That
was-
would make the occult podcast pretty good, though. She returns for that one episode.
Does a seance with Bridget.
Like that one guy.
Maybe when we do the occult one, I'll bring my Ouija board.
We have a Ouija board.
It's Stranger Things themed.
Mine is in Stranger Things. Mine's like,
Ours
not
well,
that.
Ours is just to communicate to the upside down.
mine is to communicate to spirits.
Oh, that's good. I used to have a coffee table that was a Ouija board as
That's
well.
cool.
Yeah, it was a cool coffee
Yeah,
table.
maybe I'll bring my Ouija board and we can.
Ooh. I
can
mean,
try to-
this house would definitely have
Yeah,
something.
that would be
so.
freaky as fuck, but that would be fun.
But
Well,
hey,
you guys would
I
get to
can-
leave.
so anyway, we'll record that cult podcast eventually, and we'll have the first one be free on the channel. But after that, you guys gotta get on that Patreon for that exclusive content.
Correct.
Anyway, so Identity.
This is a movie.
It's absolutely 100% a film from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It
Hey.
never was a music video. It never was a video game.
It was
never
always
was
a
a book?
movie.
It was always a movie. I say so.
There was a score and lighting and shots. It was
Mhm.
it was a movie from start to finish.
Cusack. the
Yeah.
Duvall.
Not Joan though.
No, not
I have
Joan.
like a weird thing for Joan Cusack. I think she's I don't know.
Wait, what?
I just have a weird thing for Joan Cusack.
Can
Did
you
you
break
have
down
a
what
weird
that weird
thing?
thing is?
Hold on. Did you have a weird thing for Joan Cusack and Shameless?
We've
Why are you
talked
guys
about this
pronouncing
before.
the living shit out of her name? Joan Cusack. Joan Muzak.
I can't remember what the answer for that
Mosaic?
was, though. I remember asking you.
I don't know.
Do you guys like Tom Hanks?
Thanks. Oh, get well soon.
Yeah, buddy, we miss you.
Oh, dang.
But
Yeah.
According to Joe Biden, he's got that Ebola. So
But
I thought it was the N1H1.
yeah, N1H1 as well.
I think it's H1N1, not even.
No, he said N1H1
Oh no. But for some reason, just some like it's mostly the way that Joan Cusack talks. Like she has a very distinct voice.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Listening to you.
I'm just breaking down my thing for
Being
you.
an active listener.
I don't like it.
Right. I'll just turn my brain off. Sorry.
And then it, like, especially in the School of Rock for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about that like
It's the fact that she's
mean
so
principal lady.
She's so like dignified, and Jack Black's like such a slop tart.
I know.
It's
But
just
then
like,
when she sings Stevie Nicks in School of Rock, it's amazing.
was she in?
She was in iCarly.
Was she in Gone
Right?
Girl?
I don't think she was in iCarly, no.
Wait. Yes, she was. She
Talking about
she
Miranda
was the mom.
Cosgrove.
Who's mom?
Was she?
Joan Cusack.
Who's
Was
mom?
she? I don't think she was. I don't think she was Freddie's mom.
No,
She
absolutely
looks
not.
just.
No,
like
she
Freddie's
doesn't.
mom.
How
Yes, she
dare
does.
you say
Yes, she
something like that?
does. Yes,
It's
she
like when you said
does.
Maggie Gyllenhaal looks like Rashida Jones.
I'm just saying,
She does.
Joan Cusack is kind of hot,
She looks.
and I'll
No,
go on
that
record.
Was she in Gone
does
Girl?
not be the same
I don't know.
person.
This is not a review right now, is it?
I mean, we're just trying to figure out what Joan Cusack's been in. We started off talking about her brother, John.
Yeah.
She was in Working Girl.
She was definitely Freddie's mom in iCarly.
No, absolutely not.
Yes. We're just.
It's
gonna
not
go
in her
with it.
fucking filmography.
Well, I don't fucking believe them.
Was she in Gone Girl?
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
I think it might
No,
just be
I
someone
don't
who looked
think
a
so.
lot like her, but she had the sister just had a Joan Cusack presence, but I guess she was a lot younger.
When did that come out? When did Gone Girl? come out?
2014.
No. In 2014, she was Welcome. She was in Welcome to Me, and that's it. So yeah, but anyway,
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, this movie,
yeah,
it's definitely like it's got vibes to it where it's an ensemble piece for sure.
yeah. I mean,
Which is kind of its strong point. I think all the fun characters, even if they're not that fun, are something that brings a lot of levity to it. Just like different
Yeah.
enough characters that are really ridiculous. Trying to think about the positives for absolutely shit.
I mean, I will say like there are things that I liked about this movie. I thought in the beginning, especially like the pacing was pretty good, and
Yeah.
I personally liked the flashback sort of
yeah,
format
it
structure.
had you know what I realized it was? I kept trying to think of the movie. It's so much like Detroit Rock City, like the pauses and then the transitions. That is 1,000% Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that, like sort of like the pause and then flashback to show you, like, okay, this is how we got here. And I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, I liked the performances, especially because, spoiler for the twist ending of this movie, is that they're all facets of one man's, like, this man is diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, and all of the movie's characters are his different, like, personality splits. I'm not hearing myself right now. Oh, Bridget, that was you.
hear you.
You got it. But yeah, every character in the movie is a facet of his personality split. So these characters really don't have a lot of like depth to them, but I don't really know that they're meant to, because they're like, you know,
They're supposed to be one-dimensional, right? Like, I
yeah,
think you
they're
can
like
make that
they're like a
argument.
single facet of a character's personality, the way that this movie understands his mind to work. And so I thought the actors did a good job sort of playing those characters, and I thought it was interesting.
But it did fundamentally make the characters flawed because of as a
Yes.
result of what they had to be. They became like they were cannon fodder. You really didn't care. Even when it came to like the Ed Dakota character,
Right.
he was such a one-dimensional character purposefully
Yeah.
that you kind of lost giving a fuck.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know. I'm going back and forth because we talked about it a little bit, but like they give you the sort of twist that, and I think I think you probably figured it out.
I mean, yeah,
I figured it out pretty early on. I don't know how early people tend to figure it out. I don't know, like,
really depends. I think if you have, especially if you've seen the trailers for it, you're definitely gonna jump onto it really
yeah,
fast.
I didn't know anything about this movie, but I think I picked it up pretty quick.
For me, the moment it broke for the movie for sure for me was when another guy got wheeled into the office. I was like, and then it just all clicked for me. But I'm also
Yeah, I think for me it was like right after that.
yeah,
as well.
exactly. I think that most people, though, are probably going to pick up on the birthdays. The moment the birthday scene happens, you know. Like, you definitely know.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so, like, it kind of gives you that. It kind of gives you the twist at a certain point. And then once you realize that it's not really happening, that there's no real mystery to the way these people are being killed, it kind of loses its, like, shine.
Yeah, I almost
at
feel
that
like they
point-
should have waited like a lot longer.
No, I disagree.
I mean, I'm kind of going back and forth about that.
I think that at that point, what it boils down to is that after that, because for sure, if you would have kept it going the whole time, people would have figured it out and gotten bored of the concept.
Yeah.
But also, I think that you had to kind of fall into the thriller aspect of it, because it really depends on how you view the movie. If you stop caring about the characters, you probably didn't really care about the characters in the first place.
Yeah,
Because all movies are fictional, and when you're watching the movie, it does do a good job of distancing the two plot points. Like, it makes you still feel everything happening at the motel, even after it's revealed. But it's just all about, like, has your perception changed too much from the reveal? I think that if you can kind of stay in that, like, suspension of disbelief, you can get into the thrilling part of everyone getting shot at, because these people are still dying. They're just not real people.
Yeah, and I mean, I think part of it is too that the movie attempts to sort of set up for you a moral dilemma, that you should care about. Like, do we punish the body or do we punish the mind of this person? And I mean, I understand that, but also like for this judge to not deem him like mentally unfit to be responsible for this crime would be like crazy talk. And so it's like obviously this judge is going to believe him at this point, and you can see that the judge is going to believe him.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, why do I care about the things that happen next then? And then does the film then go back, because at the end of the movie we see that the murderous altar person
It's like a manifestation of that disassociation the first time, where he's just an angry child.
Right, and it's like you know, one of the personalities contains that sort of rage and murderous anger.
And then the reason why the lady who's growing the oranges, the sex worker, the reason why I always forget her name, is it Paris?
Paris, yeah.
The reason why
Paris, Nevada, baby.
The reason why Paris exists past this point is because Paris is a manifestation of his
mother. Yes.
So that's why she has a full character, and that's why
right,
the kid
because
has a full character.
She almost is a real person.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it boils down to, and why it was always going to come to that point at the end, where there was nothing he could do, and that side was eventually going to take over. If all the personalities are forced to be together.
I mean, it was kind of like an idealized picture of his mother.
Yeah, and the other thing is too is like, if we're going with the core, the main person, when they brought all these other personalities together, the film is telling you like this is who he is, like to his base, like he is.
Yeah,
that kid.
well, and then the film kind of leaves it to be like, well, should we have punished the body because he ended up murdering him anyway? And I don't find that argument particularly compelling or interesting.
I would even say, as far, because James Mangold directed this, I would go as far as saying that I don't think maybe the dilemma was left to the audience, but I truly don't believe when he was directing the film, he was concerned about the dilemma left. I don't think there was that message was trying to be delivered.
Yeah, but
just based on what I know from his work.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't. It does like the things that the movie reveals just lack the payoff for me. Like, because figuring it out feels really good, but then you're left with it, and then you realize that it's still kind of stupid, even though you figured it out.
And here's
like, there are some movies where it feels really great when you figure it out, and you're right, and it's like, wow, oh my god, like. Like, the first time I watched The Usual Suspects, I kind of caught it kind of early, the twist of it, which I won't tell the group because we haven't all seen it. But like, I caught it kind of early, and that felt really good to see, to have it at the end be a really good ending. And I feel like this movie really wanted to do that, which was kind of what I meant when I said it really wants to be The Usual Suspects and how it gives you your payoff. But I just didn't get it from that. I just didn't get it.
I sincerely wonder if this would have been a better short than a full film.
Ooh, yeah, I could totally.
You know
see
what?
That.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
with
if
that
this
one.
was a short, maybe it could have been a part of like a larger anthology film about interesting perspectives on these certain things.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too that the character in a feature film, you spend a lot more time with these characters, and they don't have a lot
emptiness.
and they don't have a lot to them. But in a short, they would be really good because you don't have time to spend with these characters. You've got
aesthetics, and they all were definitely different. I mean, there was not really like any retraced characters. They all had their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, they kind of some of them kind of share certain traits, but not really,
but different enough,
but different enough. Yeah. I mean, but then there were also characters that were kind of like strange to me, their existence. Like, I get that the family was the setup for the little boy to be there, like George, the dad, and the wife. But I'm not sure what they represented.
So I think
for him,
it was just him creating real parents because they were both insanely caring.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, his father was horrible to his mother. That was kind of revealed because she was a sex worker. This gentleman was so gentle with his mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, they said and then he mentions too, the boy had the boy's original father had, like, not original father, but like his biological father had left them.
I think he created these caretakers to be the ideal caretakers for what he would want.
But then, like, the thoughts of him at alternate times and seemingly very quickly occupying the personality of both parents and the son, like, it seems like, I don't know, it seems a little silly.
Then we're getting too into the logistics, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's true, but
I think what this movie wants you to do is not take the mind so seriously and take it more as like a parallel universe, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I think, in fact, it might have even been better if it was just literally like his brain. He doesn't have this disorder. His brain is just actually a parallel universe. If they would have just said that out loud, I'd have been like, this is so much more interesting of a concept. It sounds silly, but then you're like, when you have the questions you have, if the film had taken the path of, well, the reason he can do that is because it's not his different personalities. All these entities actually exist within his structure of his brain.
Yeah.
Then that's an interesting concept. Also, I love all the fakeaways in this film that are pointless.
What do you mean?
The Indian burial ground.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I like that.
Well, no, I'm being sarcastic. I don't like it.
Oh, I thought you meant you did love it.
No. I love how, like, that is literally just a fakeaway. A fakeaway that he doesn't even, because it's in his mind. He could have pretended to have ghosts.
Right.
It would have perfectly made sense.
Because why the bodies are disappearing and
if you're going to give us a fakeaway, really give it to us. I want to see some fucking people throwing spears at these motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see full-on poltergeist and shit. But he didn't deliver.
Yeah, and I mean, things happen and they're just a little silly.
But overall, I think it's a romp. I think that I had more laughs with it than I'd had disagreements with it. I think it's just not a serious film. It's just a good old little romp.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for me and for Bridget also, and I'll kind of let Bridget talk about it. I think she articulates it a little better. Like, maybe like some of the issues we had with it are like are its depiction of this disorder. And so I think what you say is interesting. Like, if he didn't even have that and this was occurring in some other way, that it might have been better. But I don't know. I want to let
would have been more sensitive, that's for sure.
Right. I want to let Bridget talk about it a little bit.
So in this, it was just I actually know someone with DID, and it was just sort of.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt you, but actually, I did want to mention. So do I, but I just never mentioned it. I don't know why I never brought it up, but I actually do as well. Sorry.
No worries.
Family member.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really think about it when we were talking about it before, but anyway, go ahead.
And so I was just like, I was very close with this person for a very long time, and so it was really weird seeing it being depicted this way, because I was like, that's not how this works at all. And so it felt sort of like they didn't do their research, and like maybe that was, I mean, it was like 18 years ago that this was made. And so, I mean, like, I understand that. It just felt harder for me to grasp because of that.
Especially knowing how it actually kind of works.
Knowing and, like, living around someone who struggles and has this disorder. And also it's kind of damaging because it makes people with DID seem like they're violent when typically if they're going to be violent, it's going to be towards themselves. And so I think...
Well, let me say, whatever Franny's about to say, I'm sure it's going to be a roller coaster. So let me just say what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I do think that now I'm not saying this is to accept it, but this is just some perspective. I'd like to hear what James Mangold and people who worked on this film feel about it now.
Yeah.
Because if you think about just the social understanding of 18 years, how much has changed in film and representation, I'm not saying that gives this movie a pass, but I'm just saying it'd be interesting to hear from the horse's mouth how they perceive this movie now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think ultimately, like, this film was going more for shock value than for accuracy.
Absolutely.
But that in and of itself can be damaging because of the stigma it creates.
But as far as
like, this isn't to say like you should, like, this movie is the worst movie to ever exist because it does this willfully and maliciously. But it's a thing to consider where it's like when you're watching this, know that you're not watching an accurate depiction of what this disorder is like. And for most people, it looks nothing like this. People don't have a murderous personality inside of them.
Maliciously, it might be unintentionally malicious because you have to consider the general like mindset of people then wasn't a... Like, you know, they're just, like, for instance, it wasn't even called a disorder back then. I Google checked it. It wasn't, it was called syndrome back then.
Yeah, I mean, the doctor in the film does refer to it as dissociative identity disorder, which is, like, the correct term, as opposed to multiple personality disorder, which is not.
Well, he says syndrome, not disorder.
Yeah, he does say that in the film, but he also says DID, but, like, so one of those is more widely accepted than the others. But, yeah, like, it's just one of those things where it's, like, this is not an accurate representation of what this experience is like.
But I'd venture as far as to say that that's fine for the art of it. Like, it was just...
I mean, to call it art
you know what I'm saying?
Is a stretch.
It wasn't trying to be an educational piece. Wasn't trying to be a factual piece. It was trying to almost be like a horror movie.
Yeah, and I mean, for it to be a factual piece and then, like, get all those facts wrong would be kind of one thing, but it's almost to me a little bit...
It's not Reefer Madness for DID. You know what I mean?
Right. It's almost a little bit like you have to watch it with extra care because, like, just know that this is not a realistic representation. But I don't think, like... But I also want to be clear that I don't think that, like, if this aspect were taken out, this would be a perfect movie.
No, it's
because
like
this movie's pretty bad. Because, like Franny said, like, for the art of it, I'm like, to call it art is pretty bold.
And I would say that there's films out there that are art that handle this worse. You know, there's Hitchcock's Psycho.
Yeah, and I mean, handle mental illness worse generally. Like, mental illness is very poorly handled in the media because it's not well understood.
True. So, yeah, I think everybody.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we just sort of had feelings about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it, and then I remembered I actually do, like, I legit have a family member who.
Yeah.
And it's something that, like, I don't talk to that side of the family very much, but yeah, I would, when I was thinking about that, there really wasn't any violent outbursts, but I do want to say this. It can be startling to people. And maybe that was a part of the general, maybe that's another thing too, is that at the time, it was something so little understood.
Right.
That a genuine horror film involving it was plausible to people because, like, this is a fear that people have. That's not to say that it's right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
it makes sense why. Well, Split's different because in the film, as well as at the end of the film, they acknowledge spoilers for Split. They acknowledge the fact that it's not that he just has powers.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That he has actual physical demons inside of him.
You're right. I didn't even think about that.
And in the movie, she even says this doesn't line up with this disorder. So that film is actually categorized as being, like, really insensitive when in reality, it's not. It actually is kind of, it's borderline informative because it's like, this is not how this disorder is.
I have no strong feelings about Split either way. I don't think it's the best movie. I don't think it's the worst movie.
I think the Unbreakable trilogy.
I think it's certainly a movie.
The Unbreakable trilogy is really great to watch all together. The films alone can kind of be a little light in product.
Yeah.
But What's Her Face is great in that. The girl, I can't remember her name. She's an Emma. She's really good in that movie. That's kind of her breakout.
I don't know who you're talking about, but
Can't
yeah.
remember her name. Anyway.
I can see her face in my head.
Exactly.
Right
Me too. Me too.
But yeah, I mean, and Identity as well. It's not a great movie. It's not the worst movie. It's just a movie to be sure. It's almost good, but it's not.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like there are the things that I liked about it. Like, I kind of liked the like neo noir feel of it.
Yeah, I love
and
the
like
neo noir music too.
and like the motel and like the rain and the little neon signs and stuff. And like, I generally tend to like the concept of like, okay, these people are locked into this situation together, and here's how they get out of it. But the problem was that the way they get out of it was kind of silly.
It had a devil vibe to it.
Yeah, yeah. And like, I thought the bodies disappearing was kind of a little bit on the nose of like, okay, these identities are gone now.
Let's talk about the fan base. He's brought up the best point ever.
Oh Lord.
There's a fan base to this film.
Lord help
There's
me.
some identifiers out there.
Identifiers? Is that what you
I
guys
forgot
call
you
I don't
yourself?
think that's
said
what they call
that.
themselves, but
That would be cool though, guys.
that's a
if
good
you
one.
did.
Steal that. So there's a portion that believe that scene in the film is to do two things: to fake away you to thinking that it's the Indian burial ground.
I mean, I think by that point in the movie you kind of have it figured
There's
out.
like apparently there's like a slight ooh cha cha kind of sound when they start coming around and finding these bodies missing.
Ooh cha cha.
You know what I'm talking about? Something really
Yeah, like something kind of tribal.
yeah. Man, that makes me sound horrible, but I'm not the one who said
but,
it.
but no, I mean, I know what you're
Yeah.
trying to say though.
And then the other argument is there's like certain things that have to do with like tricking. Because, fun fact, all these characters are Caucasian.
Right.
So there's actually theories out there that this is tricking these people on this Indian burial ground.
What do you mean it's tricking them?
So it's that they're on an Indian burial ground,
Right.
and everything that's happening to them and their brains being manipulated is actually happening to these physical people.
Oh, so like there's a theory that
That the
it's
Indian burial
not
ground is
happening
real,
inside
and
his
it's not
mind.
happening in somebody's mind.
It's all real. I think that's kind of silly.
It's incredibly silly.
I mean,
But I could not acknowledge it because of fans.
I mean, like, yeah, but like, I just said my question would be, what's the logistics of that? You know, who is the one? So is the sort of court midnight trial? Is that kind of also being imagined?
I know. It's funny as I read this, but I have a simple debunker right here.
Yeah.
The line said they're all Caucasian. They're not.
Who's not?
There's a
Caucasian?
Latino woman and a Latino child.
Who's Latino?
Timothy.
I don't know that he is.
I'm pretty
What makes you think he is?
It's just, it has to do with like the language barrier stuff, why he's not talking. I just always kind of assumed maybe it was because of a different
No,
language.
they said it was because of his. The dad
Yeah.
says it's because his
So
dad.
do you think he's not
his-
Latino?
Timothy looks white as hell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a
You
little
know,
white boy.
Franny, there are people who are insanely white who are still Hispanic. It doesn't mean
I
I don't know.
anything.
I don't
just
think
didn't get-
Timothy's
Tom
Hispanic.
Segura is like Peruvian, right? And he's the whitest dude on the
Yeah, you're
planet.
right.
You can easily be Hispanic and still be very
Well,
white.
yeah, I didn't get that. I mean, but I don't know.
I didn't think it by looking at Timothy and going, "That's a Mexican."
But
kid
also,
right
like,
there."
you're still Hispanic. You're still on an Indian burial ground. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're white or not.
I guess not.
Like, you're just not a Native American. So
But yeah. For those who are out there who like that theory and a couple other theories,
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But like, if you want to explain it further, I'm happy to hear it.
I truly don't have much more for you other than
No, I was talking to the people.
Oh, there's a lot of people who think this movie's a lot smarter than it is, having to do with the numbers and everything on the doors more so than we
Like
even
how
think.
how so with the numbers?
So apparently there's something to do with like the number 9 and this like repetitiveness throughout the film.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of. I mean, I guess we see a lot of 9s.
But
I
there's
don't know.
that's something to do yet again with Indian burial ground stuff. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, so
I'd
most
have to look into it.
so people the alternative explanation for this film is
That is really happening.
that it's really happening
Mhm.
and it has to do with the Indian burial
Mhm.
grounds. I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that the Indian burial grounds play a part because that means that it wasn't just stupid and in there for no
And
reason.
it has to do with like the rain and everything and like the excessive amounts of rain and why it would
Mm.
specifically be rain in his mind and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this movie's especially smart, nor do I think it's like especially trying to be smart.
That's what I said. I thought when I saw it, like, this is a romp.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's trying to be clever.
You know, it's like it's no more clever than like One Missed Call. It's just a romp. You know what I mean?
One Missed Call is a lot worse than this movie. But
One
no, I
Missed
mean,
Call is so bad.
I think it's trying to be clever in its twist. I think it's trying to be smart in its sort of twist and the way that it sets itself up. But I don't think that it's trying to be smart in the sense that like every little thing has a deeper meaning. I think some of it's just a fake out. I think other parts of it are just not thought about well. And I'm actually really glad we looked at the special features just because we were curious. Because like something that I thought was significant was this girl ending up in room number 9
Yes,
as opposed to room
Why
8.
the fuck would they cut that out of the movie? That makes it so confusing.
Right. So the first woman to die is an actress, and she requests a very nice room, and he tells her that room 8 is cozy, and it's a nice room. And so, but then later when you see her die, she exits from room 9. And so I thought to me like that was significant, and that to me for a while that meant that like things were occurring on different like timelines or like things were occurring because this is pretty early in the film. But in fact, she just changed her own room. There's just a scene where they open the door of room number 8 to put the prisoner in there, and then see that or room number 9 to put the prisoner in there, and then see that she's in there. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, "8 wasn't good. I'm here now." And I'm like, okay, so that was just fucking stupid then.
There is no force of wind strong enough to fly a shoe out of a car like that. Like, and I'm sorry, the way
well, I mean, depending on how fast she was going, I guess.
No, but here's the thing: she opened up this suitcase, right, and you could just look at it and tell the clothes were barely flying out. Like the shirt was like wiggling out and then flying out, and this whole ass shoe just goes and oop, and it just dropped onto the road. And the reason why they didn't show the shoe flying out is because they couldn't find a practical way to make it fall out of the car. So that was a big bummer for me because I was just like, that's so obviously what happened. Like, oh my god. And then I don't know. It just kind of felt just like maybe just a little bit that like halfway through the movie, John kind of phoned it in. Like, I'm not
John
kidding.
realized halfway through that this was
like,
kind of stupid.
Fuck, I'm Ed Dakota. Fuck. Damn it.
Why did I fucking sign on to the shit?
God damn it, I'm Ed Dakota.
Thought this was gonna be a fucking smart movie.
And then he got 14. He made up his hotel movie better. He like did the better hotel movie later on with 1408. I love that movie. Dual love is strong, but you know what I mean. Okay, I think we've exhausted this concept.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say don't watch this movie, but I also wouldn't say you need to watch this movie right
I'd say
now.
if you're listening to this, you should have already watched it because we've just spoiled the living fuck out of it.
Yeah.
You get no reveals now, but I don't know. I mean, if you can't find anything better,
If you're really bored during quarantine,
right? This is
This
a movie
might
you can
be-
watch.
Yeah, it's
fine.
It's got entertaining points.
it's a movie.
Yeah, there are parts of it that are good and kind of fun. There are parts of it that are funny. There are parts of it that are kind of silly and make you laugh anyway.
It's got some serious slut shaming in it. Jesus Christ.
Well, I think that it's not like literal and it's slut shaming.
I
But
know, but still,
it's the character.
it'll catch you off guard until the end.
Right.
You're like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Like, be fucking nice to her, Jesus.
It's like, oh my god.
But in the ending is so laughably stupid.
I know.
It's worth the watch to get that ending.
First time I saw that ending, I literally cried laughing. And then when your reaction was exactly what I thought it was gonna be, and I was so happy.
It's so fucking stupid. It really is. It's worth it to get to the ending to see
So
little
good.
Timmy.
Dude, Timmy, oh my god. And then all the moments where he's like backing away and somebody gets hit by a car. And then them
Right.
stabbing that lady.
And then like the fact that like I don't understand why the Timmy personality, he believes that this is happening to the woman, to his mother, the motherly figure, but then he ends up killing the officers as if Timothy cannot see outside of the mind world that's been created. Like, these personalities can presumably interact with other
Alternate
people.
universe would have made more sense.
like presumably these alters can interact with the outside world because they have and do. You see it happen with Ed Dakota.
But I will say this though, that does make the Timothy character, that does make his silence and his weird like offense to like trying to speak to people. It makes more sense because he's hiding.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
personality is hiding. So he's like, I don't want to talk. I'm not going to move back into the corner.
Right.
I'm
yeah.
gonna play with my weird baby toy.
Right.
as a
You're a little old for that,
yeah.
dude.
I was like, bruh, give this kid a Game Boy, dude.
Yeah, the ending is silly. It will make you laugh probably.
It made me laugh so hard.
Watch it or don't.
I think it's worth the watch, but I think watch it with caution of it's stupid and it's also possibly damaging if you put it into the wrong hands.
And I'm sorry if you're a big fan of this movie. I don't think it's that smart, but that's just my opinion.
But I see why you'd like it.
I mean, I see why people would like this movie, in that it's something to figure out and something to think about. But like, I don't know, watch The Usual Suspects instead.
Watch A Simple Favor if you like comedy and you like mystery. That's a good one. Or Gone
watch
Girl.
watch The Usual Suspects. That's my
Yeah,
recommendation.
you want
I like
everyone
this
knows The Usual Suspects ending except for the two people sitting in this room.
Well, that's fair.
Because trust me, I already knew what was gonna happen in The Usual Suspects halfway through the movie because of all the pop culture references. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I kind of missed.
Franny watched The Sixth Sense fresh, dude.
You didn't
She
know?
didn't know
I
the
didn't
fucking
know.
ending. Can you
That's
believe
insane.
that?
Yeah, it was a couple years back. I had no idea.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
It was wild to watch somebody watch it for the first time.
That's insane.
It
I've
unfolded for you.
never seen The Sixth Sense, but I feel like I don't have to
Oh, you already know what happened.
because I know what happens.
I saw it when I already knew what happened and I liked it. It does. It's pretty good. But like for her to have that moment unravel for her,
Nice.
just seeing
I
her
love
reaction, I was
that.
like, "That's magic in a bottle right there." You'll never get anybody else to watch that fresh for
Right.
the first time.
Which is like, even though we're reluctant to watch it because old Kevin Spacey is why I want them to watch The Usual
Usual
Suspects.
Suspects.
Because
yeah.
one, I,
I
love
don't
that.
give a fuck. Like,
Because
it's fine.
despite Kevin Spacey's icky presence, I like that movie a lot. I think it's actually a really fun movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just like it. I think you guys
I'll
would
still
like
watch it. I don't care.
And I like the experience of seeing someone discover a twist.
Yeah. Are we ready to rate?
But yeah, I mean, I'm ready to rate. But yeah, I would say like if you want a movie that's like this, there are better ones.
Absolutely.
I want to. I
But
want to
like
start.
you don't have to watch this.
I want to start.
Okay.
I have my rating and I have it down perfect. It's a
Heck yeah.
5. It's so middle of the road for me that I literally had seen this movie from start to finish before and forgot what it was all about because it's so underwhelming.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think like after
Yeah.
we finish this podcast, I'm probably never gonna think about this movie. again.
Exactly.
Unless you identifiers want to blow up this video with views.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Hey.
think about it if you guys are talking about it and thinking about it. But like,
Vanilla Sky will never leave Madison's brain. Thanks
I
to
know.
all of you.
I wish and like I can't even be mad at it because it like made people listen to this podcast, and I'm
Absolutely.
grateful for people listening to it. But I still think that movie's fucking dumb, and I think about it all the time. When I had zero filter and zero ability to think and construct a joke, I made a Vanilla Sky reference.
Hell yeah. That's amazing.
Oh boy.
All right, y'all. Bridget.
Bridget.
That's my
Just
rating.
the sigh. Just.
I'm probably gonna give it like a 3.
Is that worse than you give Vanilla Sky?
I don't.
I don't know. I don't know that Bridget was asleep during most of Vanilla Sky.
I know. That's why I was like, how is it lower? Because I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
I
I'll
don't know
fact
what
check
she
myself.
gave Vanilla Sky.
I was like, how are you going to give a movie you didn't even finish a better grade than one you did? It's just, I don't know. I'm just joking around.
I don't know. It was all right. Maybe I should give it higher. I don't know.
No, don't
No,
change
do
your
not-
mind
I
for
hate-
anybody.
I just make the jokes. I never want you guys to actually change the opinion. I promise. I endorse your opinions always.
I would give this movie like a C-. It's fine. It's not offensive to the eyes or the ears or the it's not offensive to my sensibilities, but it's also not good either. I think what I said was it's almost a good movie, but it's not.
I will give it on first watch a 6 out of 10. But if
Okay.
you any rewatchability, it's like a 2 out of 10. So it's a little above the middle of the road for me, but on a second watch, man, it's slow because you know everything, and they take all the fucking time in the world to do it, and it's like, you guys are dragging the shit out. We get it. He's the same guy. It's so obvious the second time.
Yeah, I would probably rate it much lower if I watched it again, but
It's-
I probably
it's-
won't ever watch it again
Yeah.
because, like I said, I probably won't ever think about this movie after today.
Also, its poster is a 9 out of 10. It's a good poster.
I don't know what it looks like.
It's a hand, and each finger is a person's shadow.
Hold on.
I think it's in the group chat 'cause it's on the thumbnail.
Oh, is that the poster that's on the
Mhm.
thumbnail? Hold on, let me look at it. Give me a second. Looking at our group chat. Oh, I never texted you back, Logan.
Wow.
I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I should respond to that, and then I didn't. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool.
I turned it purple. If you look at the original one,
yeah,
it's white.
I mean, you turned it purple, but it's kind of cool, I guess. Seen better, seen worse.
I mean, it was just a really iconic poster at the time. It's kind of like every poster after that copied like My Soul to Take and all those other posters.
I remember My Soul to Take.
Mm-hmm.
I remember liking it a lot when I watched it. It's probably not very good.
It's on my shelf of Blu-rays if you want to rewatch it.
Do you like it? Is it good?
Anyway, moving on.
It's a tough one.
It's worse than this.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I don't really remember a whole lot about it, but
The
I just
Ripper.
remember. Oh yeah.
It's just this guy with like, I'm presuming like really fucking horrible asthma chasing children in the night that all have the same birthday. It's this movie.
Yeah.
It's this fucking movie.
I remember watching it with my mom when I was pretty young, but
This guy fake vomits as a bird in the middle of the film.
no, I don't like it.
I'm sorry, what now?
You gotta watch it. Is that what we're watching next week?
No. What are we doing next week?
All right, so we're definitely going to record the Occult podcast. That's going to be up. It's going to be a preview of what you guys are to expect if you donate to the Patreon. And then also, I believe we're starting our Quarantino, right?
Yeah, it's Quentin Quarantino time, baby. We've been saying for a while that we were gonna watch all of Quentin Tarantino's movies, and then like we're gonna come up with like which one is best on average by the group, which we'll still do. We'll probably break it down. We're gonna break it down into what, like 3 episodes with 3 movies each episode.
3 episodes, because we've already done his 10th film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so we'll be able to.
Yeah, and I mean we'll all still place that in our rankings and factor it in and everything.
Yeah, and the numbers we already have for it, so because we rate every podcast.
Well, I think we'll probably do it a little differently because we rate differently.
Well, we can just break down your letter grades into numbers.
Well, I thought what we were trying to do is, we can hash it out later, but I thought we were trying to do a ranking system and assigning.
It's very easy. We just take the numbers that we all had and we add them together. And that's
No,
its
I don't think
score.
that's gonna work. But
that's literally what a
usually
cumulative
is what
score
people
is,
do.
though.
yeah, I mean, well, yeah,
By
I
definition,
guess
that's a cumulative score.
It'll be easy. I can lay it out.
okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But somehow we're gonna do a thing where we'll have a ranking.
And the
of all
Occult
of them.
podcast, guys, you get this one for free. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're excited. I'm gonna bring my Ouija board. I've decided.
Oh no,
Okay.
I have not permitted.
Too bad. It's coming with me.
Oof.
I'm bringing it.
Alrighty, guys.
All right, kids. We'll see you next time.
Like
Thank
and
you so
subscribe,
much.
donate to our Patreon, all that good stuff.
Be careful when you do drugs.
And wash your damn hands.
wash your hands.
Stay safe. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.